In the frozen wilderness of Siberia, the ground hides secrets from another world. For thousands of years, the icy permafrost has preserved the remains of animals that lived during the Ice Age. Giant creatures, lost predators, and sometimes, discoveries so extraordinary they rewrite everything we thought we knew about prehistoric life. In 2020, hunters searching for mammoth tusks in the remote Yakutia region of Siberia uncovered something astonishing. Buried deep in the frozen earth, almost perfectly preserved, was the tiny body of a prehistoric predator. It was no bigger than a house cat. But this animal belonged to one of the most terrifying carnivores to ever live. A 3-week-old saber-tooth kitten. Scientists soon identified it as a member of the extinct species Homotherium latidens. Radiocarbon dating revealed that the kitten had lived roughly 35,000 years ago, during the icy world of the late Pleistocene. But the real shock was its preservation. Its fur was still intact. Its claws were visible. Even the delicate whiskers on its face had survived. For paleontologists, this discovery was extraordinary, because fossils usually leave behind only bones and teeth. But this tiny animal preserved details that almost never survive in the fossil record. And those details revealed something remarkable. Because when scientists studied this animal closely, they realized something important. Almost nothing about the saber-tooth tiger was normal. Not its teeth, not its body, not the way it hunted, and certainly not the world it ruled. When most people hear the words saber-tooth tiger, they picture a powerful Ice Age predator with enormous fangs. The most famous of these predators was the species known as Smilodon. Despite the nickname tiger, Smilodon wasn't closely related to modern tigers at all. Instead, it belonged to a completely different branch of the cat family tree, a lineage that evolved specialized hunting tools unlike anything seen in modern predators. The most obvious feature, of course, was its teeth. The upper canines of Smilodon could grow up to 20 centimeters long. To put that in perspective, that's longer than a human hand. But these teeth weren't simply oversized versions of normal cat fangs. They were thin, flat, and blade-like. More like daggers than teeth. And that design created a fascinating paradox. Because while these teeth were incredibly deadly, they were also surprisingly fragile. If the animal bit into bone or twisted its head the wrong way, the teeth could easily snap. So why would evolution create such dangerous yet delicate weapons? The answer lies in how these predators actually hunted. A bite like no other. Modern big cats rely heavily on bite force. Lions and tigers kill prey by clamping down on the throat and suffocating the animal. But the saber-toothed cats used a completely different strategy. Their jaws could open incredibly wide, sometimes reaching nearly 120 degrees. That's almost twice as wide as the jaws of modern lions. But their bite force was actually weaker than many living predators. This means their teeth weren't designed for crushing or gripping. Instead, they worked like precision blades. After overpowering prey with their strong forelimbs, the predator delivered a carefully targeted bite to soft areas of the body, usually the throat. The long canines sliced through flesh, arteries, and muscle with surgical precision. One successful strike could cause catastrophic blood loss within minutes. In other words, the saber-toothed tiger didn't rely on brute force. It relied on precision killing. Nature had engineered a predator that functioned almost like a living surgical instrument. But teeth alone don't explain how these animals survived. To understand that, we need to look at the body behind those legendary fangs. Built for power, not speed. At first glance, people often imagined saber-toothed cats running across the plains like cheetahs. But their skeletons tell a very different story. Species like Smilodon had incredibly muscular bodies. Their forelimbs were massive. Their shoulders were heavily built. Their claws were large and retractable. This anatomy reveals an important clue. These predators weren't built for chasing prey across long distances. They were built for ambush attacks. Imagine hiding within tall grass or forest edges, waiting silently as large herbivores move through the landscape. Then suddenly, an explosive burst of power. The predator lunges forward, grabs the prey with powerful forelimbs, and forces the animal to the ground. Only then would those enormous saber teeth come into play. This strategy allowed them to hunt some of the largest animals of the Ice Age, including woolly mammoth calves, steppe bison, ancient horse species. But while Smilodon relied on brute strength, another saber-tooth species hunted in a completely different way. And that species brings us back to the mysterious frozen kitten, the scimitar-toothed hunter. The kitten discovered in Siberia belonged to a different kind of saber-toothed cat, a species called Homotherium latidens. Unlike the bulky Smilodon, Homotherium had a lighter, more athletic body. Its legs were longer. Its back sloped downward like a hyena. And its teeth were shorter but serrated like knives. Because of these features, scientists often call it a scimitar-toothed cat. This predator likely hunted in more open environments such as grasslands and cold steppe regions. Its body suggests it was capable of long-distance running. Some paleontologists even believe Homotherium hunted in groups, similar to wolves or lions. Working together, these predators may have targeted large prey animals like young mammoths. Fossil evidence from sites such as Friesenhahn Cave in Texas suggests that Homotherium frequently preyed on mammoth calves. If true, this would make them some of the most formidable cooperative hunters of the Ice Age. But the frozen kitten revealed something scientists had never seen before. What saber-tooth cats looked like as babies. The baby saber-tooth. The Siberian kitten was only 3 weeks old when it died. Yet even at that age, it already displayed unique adaptations. Its fur was dark brown and extremely thick, measuring around 20 to 30 millimeters long. Perfect insulation against the brutal Ice Age cold. Its paws were broad and powerful. Its forelimbs were already unusually long. And one feature surprised researchers immediately. The kitten lacked the carpal pads normally found on the wrists of modern cats. This suggests that the movement and posture of these animals may have been quite different from today's felines. Its ears were small, reducing heat loss. Its neck was thick and muscular. Its muzzle was large. All features that hinted at the powerful predator it would eventually become. But perhaps the most fascinating detail was the preservation of its whiskers. These delicate sensory hairs, known scientifically as vibrissae, are rarely preserved in fossils. Yet on this kitten they were still visible after 35,000 years. Some scientists believe these may be the oldest preserved mammalian whiskers ever discovered. Even more eerie, the kitten's tiny claws were still extended, almost as if it had been frozen in the middle of a playful pounce. For researchers, this discovery offered an unprecedented look at the early life of a prehistoric predator. The world they ruled. Saber-tooth cats thrived during the Ice Age for hundreds of thousands of years. Their world was dominated by giant animals and extreme climates. Across vast grasslands and cold steppes, herds of enormous herbivores roamed the landscape. Predators like saber-tooth cats played a crucial role in maintaining balance within these ecosystems. But eventually, this world began to change. As the Ice Age ended, glacier retreated. Forests spread across regions that were once open grasslands. Many of the giant animals saber-tooth cats depended on began to disappear. And then another powerful predator entered the picture. Humans. The extinction mystery. Around 11,000 to 12,000 years ago, many Ice Age animals disappeared during what scientists call the Quaternary extinction event. Among them were the legendary saber-tooth cats. Researchers believe several factors may have contributed to their extinction. Climate change dramatically reshaped ecosystems. Large herbivores became rarer. And human hunters began spreading across continents, competing for the same prey. Or possibly even hunting these predators directly. For a species specialized in hunting large animals, these environmental changes may have been devastating. Slowly, the mighty saber-tooth cats vanished from the earth, leaving behind only fossils and rare discoveries like the frozen kitten of Siberia. Could scientists bring the saber-tooth back? The discovery of the frozen kitten raised a question that sounds like something from science fiction. If we have such a perfectly preserved specimen, could scientists one day bring the saber-tooth tiger back? This idea falls under a field known as de-extinction, the scientific effort to revive extinct species using modern genetic technology. And surprisingly, researchers are already exploring similar possibilities with Ice Age animals like the woolly mammoth. But bringing back a saber-toothed cat such as Homotherium latidens would be far more complicated. To revive an extinct animal, scientists would first need a complete genome, a full map of its DNA. Frozen specimens like the Siberian kitten may contain fragments of genetic material, but after tens of thousands of years that DNA is usually damaged and incomplete. Even if researchers manage to reconstruct the genome, another challenge remains. They would need a living surrogate species, a modern animal closely related enough to carry the embryo. For mammoths, scientists can potentially use elephants. But for saber-toothed cats, the closest living relatives are modern big cats like lions or tigers. And their biology may be too different to successfully develop a saber-tooth embryo. There's also an even bigger question. Even if science could bring the animal back, where would it live? The Ice Age ecosystems that supported saber-toothed cats disappeared thousands of years ago. Without the massive prey animals and vast open landscapes they depended on, a revived saber-toothed predator might struggle to survive. So for now, de-extinction remains a fascinating possibility, but still far from reality. Instead, discoveries like the frozen kitten help scientists do something just as important. They allow us to reconstruct the life of one of the most extraordinary predators in Earth's history, and piece together the story of a creature that once ruled the Ice Age. That tiny kitten preserved in ice is more than just a fossil. It is a snapshot of a lost world. A moment frozen in time from an age when giant predators ruled the planet. And thanks to discoveries like this, scientists are slowly bringing the story of the saber-toothed tiger back to life. One fossil at a time.